New Orleans getaway in December. Hi, this is Graciously Gloria. Thanks for joining today. First off, let's talk about some different activities. The French Quarter, very popular. Let's talk about what I saw there and my thoughts about it. So first off, it's very picturesque, has the lovely wrought iron and lots of great photo opportunities there. A place to stop by is La Branch. I'll pop a picture in there. You've probably seen that one on Instagram, and it's a really great photo spot there. And I would say there's lots of different shops and restaurants in the area. If you're going during the day, feels very safe. Another area to walk around there is called Jackson Square. So it's a square around a church. And from there, you'll see lots of different art on display for sale. So you can pick up some art if you'd like. You can also pick up a carriage ride in that area. So that's another area to check out is at Jackson Square. And then you have the popular Bourbon Street. So let's talk about that. Okay, it's a little bit crazy there. So when we were walking, we went at night, kind of wanted to see what it was all about. And there were lots of drunk people. And for example, there was a family, like a couple with their son who was probably just turning 21. And then she said to him, just if you're going to throw up that way. Okay, that way ended up being towards me. Oh my goodness. And I was like, oh my gosh, this kid's going to throw up on me. Luckily, he didn't. But just be aware things like that happen on Bourbon Street. I think someone also offered me drugs. So just, there's some sketchiness out there and just ignore it and keep walking. Now, I would say once we got into an actual venue, then I felt perfectly safe there. A place to check out for live music is Pat O'Brien's. They had fun dueling pianos. So we did enjoy that. And we went by another place that had live music too, more like jazz music, and that was fun too. So once you get in a establishment, then you feel fine. But I'm just going to say, keep your wits about you when you're walking around that area, particularly if you're going to go off the street, because on Bourbon Street, it is more popular and crowded. We end up venturing off like maybe a block or two, and then you start just noticing some characters that didn't feel as safe to me. And my husband's like, I think it's fine, but I'm like, I'm getting like an intuition, and trust your woman's intuition. Like, I'm just not feeling safe. Let's turn the corner and walk back this way. So just be aware of that when you're on Bourbon Street, but you can have some fun there too. So especially once you're inside some venues there. So that is in that French Quarter. Frenchman Street is another great area for live music. They also have some fences with art. When we were there, there was some like a little art show, I would say, like a little festival at night, and lots of different vendors and some unique art there to walk around and see and to purchase if you'd like. We found some really fun live music just out on the street. I'll pop in a little video of that. And that was fun. My husband really enjoyed that, especially. So that's another area to check out, Frenchman Street. The Garden District, that was my favorite. So it's so beautiful with the lovely homes and the well manicured gardens and very picturesque and lovely mansions. We did a holiday house tour there. I'm going to pop in some photos of that. So, living right now in Virginia, I have done holiday house tours here and also been a docent. And I would say for here, we really focus more like on the history of the house and also maybe some different design features. Like people ask, like, what is that wallpaper or what is that paint? Things like that. But for this one, I didn't see that as much as they did have live music, which was fun treat in each home. And they also have beautiful flowers, probably from a local florist who did all the different homes on the tour. So I would say I would recommend that if you're there during the holiday season. We also made it over to New Orleans City Park. I'd recommend that. A fun way to get there is on the streetcar. We took the canal line to get down there, and once you're there in the city park, you have the park itself. There's also an art museum to check out, and you can get the famous beignets at the Café des Monde. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but it has several locations, very popular place to get the beignets. One thing that I love to do on vacations is to go on a boat cruise. particularly at nighttime. Usually at sunset is my favorite. We found a steamboat cruise that had live jazz music. So that was so fun. I will put the link below of the one that we did, and I would recommend that. Now, I would say for that, you have a couple options. You can do it with or without the dinner. We chose not to do it with the dinner and got dinner elsewhere, but you can include the dinner. I did see like varying reviews about the food on the boat, so that's why I decided let's just do dinner off of it. But that's definitely an option for you to check out if you want to do that. Fun that you're going on the Mississippi River. Now we went at Christmas time, so in December, and so wanted to check out the different holiday decorations. So we went to the Roosevelt Hotel, and I will pop in some photos. So lovely, iconic there at Christmas time. Some other things we didn't get a chance to do were to go by the Ritz-Carlton. I heard that they have great decor. Also, the Hotel Montalone has decor. And there's something called Celebration in the Oaks, which you can walk around and look at lights. Oh, another thing our Uber driver mentioned to us that's popular at that time of year is a Revlon dinner. And that is a special dinner they offer with multiple courses, and that's just for the holiday times. And certain restaurants offer that, so you might want to check that out. Let's move on and talk about some food. So New Orleans is known for their tasty food, and I would say it was tasty. And we enjoyed the things we ate there. So let's first start with breakfast. Ruby Slipper. That has things like pancakes, French toast, eggs. Now, there wasn't a reservation system for that, but you can join the wait list. So I'd recommend that to cut your time down when you're going to get on your way there. Join that wait list. They do have several locations. Cafe Amelie. Now, this one you do want to make a reservation. I'd recommend that. It's a charming cafe. I wanted to try, had read about the muffalata sandwich, and I thought it was so tasty. So that one has things like ham, salami. A unique thing is in it is an olive salad, kind of like an olive tapenade or something. Then that's added in there, and that it was so big, and so you really can't eat all. I think that when they asked, it was like a portion of one of them. So that's good because a whole big one would be like really, really big. But there are several locations in the city that offer that muffalata sandwich. So while you're there, I think that's a fun thing to try. Cafe is open for brunch and dinner. Now, our favorite place that we went to was Brennan's, and we went there for brunch, and it was my husband's birthday, so of course I had to let them know, and they did something fun. So I will pop in a photo. They gave him like this giant cotton candy, and that was fun. And then they had some other things going on because it was Christmas time, and they gave us little necklaces to wear with little bells, and I thought that was unique too. And I would say it was just a charming atmosphere, elegant, and I had lots of fun, interesting dishes. So I had a fun egg dish, and that was called eggs sardou. And you know what they have there is kind of unique, a turtle soup. My husband tried that because he wanted to give it a go. So it is fun when you're in a new city to try some new things and see what you think of them. So I would recommend Brennan's. And the other thing that was fun there is they had a bananas foster. And so they do the whole flambe at your table, and that's a whole production. And so, of course, I wanted to get that done too for his birthday. So, fun treat. Now, that does fill up for reservations, and so you want to be aware they will accept reservations 60 days in advance. And I even put a little reminder on my phone to set that up well in advance. So once that reservation came available, I had booked it because I thought it would be popular all year long, but especially during Christmas time. The place we didn't get to go to, but I read about was the Commander's Palace. And that one, even though I was looking in advance, it was already booked. So if you want to get there, also pay attention to when the reservations come available and notice that on their website. So moving on to different ideas for lunch and dinner. So some of the things I'm going to talk about are available for lunch and dinner. So one thing is called Cooper Vine. That's in the CBD area, which is the Central Business District. And it had a nice outdoor area. And, you know, it's December in the South. So it was actually still a little bit warm. So that was nice treat to be able to sit outside in December to eat. And I would say they have things there like a charcuterie, a pit-to soup and salad, things like short ribs and steak frites. And I did enjoy my meal there, and so did my husband. Another option is Acme Oyster. They're also available for lunch or dinner. We went there for dinner time. My husband just loves oysters and likes to try all different kinds of oysters, like fried oysters, char grilled oysters Rockefeller, the whole variety there. And they have lots of different varieties of oysters there. They also have things like seafood gumbo, jambalaya, rice and beans, and several locations at that Acme Oyster. The Parkway Tavern. So this was really historic and kind of iconic, and has been open since 1911. Now, a fun story there is the po' boy is a sandwich. So interesting how this sandwich was created, and it's kind of related to this location. The Martin brothers created this in 1929 when the Electric Street Railway employees went on strike, and they would say, "Oh, those poor boys, and let's give them a party sandwich." So poor boys, po' boys. So then the Parkway Tavern had heard about that, and then they put that on their menu back then. And so it's been very popular ever since. You can get, like I said, a whole variety there. They have like shrimp one, oysters, catfish, and homemade roast beef there, open for lunch or dinner. Now, we did go there for a dinner, and one thing to keep in mind is they close early. It closes at 6 p.m., so it has to be kind of an early dinner if you want to do dinner, or if not, then go there for lunch. A nice dressy dinner, and I like to make a reservation so I can just get right in at dinner, was Restaurant Revolution. So we dressed up for that, and has things like Cajun and Creole and different steaks. And so speaking of Cajun and Creole, I was kind of interested to learn a little bit more about what is the difference between the two, because you hear those terms a lot in Louisiana cuisine. So the Cajun, it was originated in the rural area of Louisiana. It's French Canadian, and it usually doesn't have tomatoes in it. And you can have things like a jambalaya, a chicken and sausage gumbo with Cajun style, and a crawfish etouffee. So those are examples of some Cajun food. So the Creole food, that was created more in the city area of Louisiana, and that has French influence, Spanish, African, Caribbean, and Italian. So really unique combination. I love all those different combinations of those different, people coming together and creating some unique cuisine there, and like shrimp Creole, red beans and rice, jambalaya Creole, and oysters Rockefeller are some examples of the Creole cuisine. So you'll see that on lots of menus, Cajun food or Creole food. And my husband really enjoys those kinds of dishes. A lot of them have a little bit, perhaps maybe too much spice for me. For the most part, a lot of them do, but I did try some bites of his because he was getting jambalaya. At the Restaurant Revolution, I had a nice steak, so I enjoyed that. There are so many different locations for food there. One of our Uber drivers, super friendly and gave us lots of tips on other things, but we had some things already planned that we wanted to eat at, but so many other choices. Some other ones to make note are Willie Mae's for some fried chicken, Willa Jean's for a nice brunch. I mentioned the Commander's Palace, that you want to get on that list if you can to get your reservation there. It's just a few other ideas there, but just so many different food options. So how to get around in New Orleans. So we end up flying into New Orleans, and from there we decided to take an Uber. So we used Uber or Lyft throughout our trip, and it worked out really well for us. You can rent a car, that is another option. And where to stay. We stayed at an Airbnb, and I will post the link that we stayed at. I liked it. I guess it was an area affected, by the different floods there, and it's being revitalized. And so that's really great to kind of feel a part of that and contribute to that community. So we rented a house in that area and liked it, and lots of Airbnb options out there, as well as hotels. Some of them I mentioned that are well decorated for the holidays, so those you might want to check out too. Overall, I would recommend New Orleans. We had a really pleasant time there. If you've been to New Orleans and you have something you recommend, go ahead and put it in the comments, because I think we'll make it back there again. We loved it. I thought the people there were warm and welcoming. The food was delicious, and lots of fun things to do there, including the different live music. And I just love live music. And please consider subscribing for more great videos. I do different lifestyle tips for women in midlife, and I'm doing a whole travel series. Upcoming are things like my trip to Aruba and Italy. Please consider pressing the like button if you liked it. And I appreciate your time today and happy travels to you.